Support for 100 Watts and a Wire is brought to you by 100wattsandawire.com. To subscribe to the show, simply click the RSS feed. While you're there, apply for your free 100 Watts ID and learn how you can help make 100 Watts and a Wire listener supported. Click the donate page and pick the option that works best for you. We've got a traveling toolkit, 100 Watts and a Wire gear, and more. That's 100wattsandawire.com. And ICOM. Spring is in the air. Check out ICOM's line of D-Star radios. ICOM offers a variety of high-performance and innovative products. Stay connected around the world with ICOM's D-Star radios. And BioNO Power, offering the best performance lithium iron phosphate batteries for your ham radios. Visit bionopower.com. That's BIOENNOPOWER.com. Or contact dealers nationwide.
And now, from Grid Square Echo Mike 48, this is 100 Watts and a Wire.
Oh, hello, this is Christian Kilo Zero Sierra Tango Hotel coming to you Memorial Day weekend. It's an extended weekend, and we give thanks and honor to those who have died fighting for the United States military. Memorial Day is a time to remember. Veterans Day now is a day we celebrate the living veterans. Memorial Day, those who have passed, lest we forget. I hope everybody is enjoying this weekend. Great time to be with your family and cook out, do things like that. And I'm just wondering if we'll get this recording off, man. I took all my gear out to Xenia, Ohio, and brought it all back, and hopefully it's functioning okay. I was hearing a little bit of a buzz on my signal here, and don't dig that as much, but I'm surrounded by humidifiers, all sorts of stuff. And then I remember, as amateur radio operators, we listen through the worst band conditions possible. We'll try and check into that net we love through the crackle and pop and the crunchiness of a band. And then I think, lighten up, dude. The broadcaster in me is sort of that purist of trying to control the sound as much as you can. The amateur in me is like, that sounds pretty good. So, there's a balance between. I thought about it now. I'm recording this over the weekend. And I thought about and even attempted to go out and lower this hex beam of mine, 32 feet, I think. We're about 30 feet in pipe alone. I've got aluminum pipe. And it's bent a little bit. It has been bent since I put it up. If you go back and look at the hex beam install, I talk about that. It's got to be 2 years now. Well, Emmett and I were putting this thing up. Emmett from Radio Waves, he built it. It's its maker. But we bent this aluminum pole putting it up, and now I need to do a little bit of maintenance on this thing. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll loosen the back guy line, the opposite guy line to where it's going to tilt, which is the back side. And maybe I can lower this thing on my own. Nope. I loosened up the rope, man. The thing up there started tilting a little bit, like whoop, and not tilting on the tilt proper. Tilting like, hey, I'm an aluminum pole here, and I'm bolted together at certain intervals. Do you really want to do this? And I'm thinking, I don't. I enjoy a antenna project, but, I don't want one forced upon me. But what it helped me to do was to realize that, maybe I want to go ahead, get some help in here. My left shoulder's all jacked up. I don't know what's happening. Not like dislocated, but definitely pulled. Hopefully not a torn rotator. I've got very limited range of motion in the left side at the moment. So don't come at me crazy, because I will throw a haymaker, but probably from the... I can still jab with the left. Yep, jab. Oh, yeah. Oh, yep. Still dangerous. Oh. But I can't throw that left-handed haymaker from deep down south, blang, and connect right in your grill at this time. So I would need some help lowering down the hex beam, and I knew this. I just wanted to see what was up. And what happened to me was not too long ago, we had some serious storms. Not even this season. I'm talking about maybe in the fall time. And one of the support ropes at the top, the rope that helps lift this thing up to make it look like an inverted umbrella, galloped free and came free. It was kind of like an S-hook, and it connects up at the top and holds one of the ends up. Well, now my hex, to me, looks like it's trying to flatten out. It needs some maintenance anyway. It still works fine, but it's not right. So I went out there this morning, in fact, and did some weed eating, and I decided to record because it's so hot. They always talk about the humidity here in Missouri. I don't know, man. Hot is just hot to me. I can't tell the difference. I'm not a meteorologist. It's hot, man. That's all I know. How's things out there in Missouri? Hot. You know, that's as deep as I can get. Did a little bit of work this morning in the shade and did some weed eating out from under the hex, and then just decided maybe I'll try and tilt it down myself. Nope. The shoulder didn't want to help me, and you know, it's best not to. You need somebody to hold that guy rope. And bring it down slowly once you do the lifting of this plate. You know, you don't want to be freewheeling it, man. You need help, and I do. And it may be one of the main parts of a club that I'm missing. You know, not being a part of a club, and there's several nearby. One in St. Charles, a Lewis and Clark over near Alton, Illinois, which is about 15 minutes over the bridge in Illinois. And of course, you've got our friends down into the city, which is not close to me, the St. Louis and Suburban Radio Club. You know, if I had some club affiliation, I could probably round out some help and, you know, do some coordinating and buy some pizza and some beer and get this thing sorted out. Maybe that's what I'll do. I know I'm going to have Emmett come back out here at some point. He's so busy working, doing all the things he needs to do with his family business, and I'm doing what I need to do to raise my young family. It's not easy. So maybe I need to look into the clubs a little bit, meet some people, and buy some pizzas and beers. Nothing major to report on the hex beam, although there have been improvements to the hex beam since I purchased mine a couple of years ago. We'll bring it down, tighten things up, clean some things up, check the coax, but I'm thinking about, instead of this aluminum that goes 30 feet, I'd like some galvanized pipe. I know it's a little bit heavier, of course. And instead of drilling holes and using, bolts to hold the sections in piece, maybe getting a couple of couplers between 10-foot sections of galvanized steel pipe, and I need to figure out where that is. And then when I bring this antenna down, maybe just change out the whole pipe. It sketches me out a little bit that it's bent. It's bent a little bit. And not so much that it'll fall or break, but it's bent. And it's visually, the sight line of it is bent, and I don't know. I don't know, man. There's something about me and my fickle nature that would like a straight pipe. It's not that you can't do good work with a bent pipe. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I don't even want to think about what I just thought about crossing my head with bent pipes, doing work, lane pipe, and all this. Stop it. Oh, Lord. What is it? What is it, please? Please. Just send me the sign, and I will pick it up. I'll read it. So I think I'm looking at a bigger project, which isn't insurmountable. It definitely will take more hands. And instead of fixing the support rope, maybe replacing the mast, the pipe, and going with a galvanized, because aluminum will bend. Take a break here. We'll come back. I've got an interview I'd like to share with you. And I got some questions after last week's show. We can talk about that in just a bit.
QRO to the people. This is 100 watts and a wire.
ICOM's newest D-Star handheld is ready for the season ahead. Lightweight, compact, and tough, the new ID31A Plus is a great choice for any shack or those in harsh environments. The IDA51A Plus 2 provides extended D-Star coverage, allowing you to listen wherever you may go. Compact and user-friendly, the ID4100A is a D-Star mobile with big rig features. Its intuitive interface, variety of operating modes, and Bluetooth compatibility make this the preferred D-Star option for those on the go. And the ID5100A has taken innovation and mobility to the next level. With its touchscreen and internal GPS, this radio is a must-have while assessing a situation. Visit icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on all ICOM radios.
100 watts and a wire. Activity days.
That's right. It's coming up June 8th. Through the 10th, June 8th, 9th, and 10th, the 100 watts and a wire tune-up. This is the activity where we get ourselves together and ready before Field Day. Field Day is a wonderful exercise. I mentioned clubs a little bit in the first segment. Well, perhaps you belong to a club or two, and you want to spend Field Day with the club. You're going to have a different role. You know, you're not just going to be able to go, and maybe you are, I don't know, but some people, most people, many people are going to be assigned a role. You're going to work from 1 to 3 on 20 meters, and then you're going to have your lunch. Or you're going to meet us at the venue at 9 o'clock. You're going to bring the potato gun, and you're going to shoot a rope and a line over that tree, and you're going to help us hang that antenna. And then once we get that, we'll make sure it's tuned up, and then you can go to lunch. 1 o'clock starts, you're on 40 meters. So maybe you've assembled this past year a kit. Maybe you've built a go box. Maybe you've just got a portable rig and a paddle that you use up on the summit. Maybe you want to try some things that you may not get to do on Field Day. Maybe you feel an obligation to the club and you don't want to say no and you want to go and help them out. But there's also that little bit of you that wants to hang that antenna that you've made. You want to check out the power supply that you've put together, or the new box with the power, the new Bio-NO battery, your solar setup, and you can't really do that on Field Day. Now again, it's not everybody, but maybe this is your situation. Well, the tune-up is an exercise for you. This means you make your coffee, you pack your bags, you take your portable rig if you have one, and try to get out there in the field, even if it's your own field. Maybe it's a state park or a national park. Maybe you work from the comfort of your own shack. You can run any power, any mode, any time, June 8th, 9th, and 10th. And we've made a little game of it too, because first of all, we do have a random drawing. We'll get to the game in the QSL card here in just a little bit. But we're giving away some prizes. Bio-NO Power, speaking of which, is going to give away a battery and a charger for it. Power Film Solar is also going to give away a foldable solar panel. Radio Waves is going to give away an antenna. If you participate, Chameleon's going to give away an antenna as well. Talk about portable operations. They're making some new stuff. And they're going to give away something as well. Basically, you go to 100 watts and a wire, you activate wherever you're going to activate from. Take calls from your house, wherever you go. It's all right with me. And you keep score. Maybe you keep a separate log for the weekend. Let us know your totals. Go to 100wattsandawire.com. Click on Activity Days. There's a short form there for you. Fill it out. Let us know. Your exchange is going to be something like CQ, 100 watts and a wire tune-up. QRZ. Somebody's going to come back to you. You're going to work them and exchange your call sign, your state. Give them a true signal report if everybody's out doing some portable stuff. You don't have to be 5'9". Give them the truth. It helps, certainly when you're out there in the field, knowing that your antenna is making it to wherever or isn't. Exchange your 100-watt IDs. And you're going to meet a lot of people on the air that don't know what that means. They don't know what this show is. Teach them. Send them to the website. After you fill out your information, you submit it, you're automatically included in the random drawing. Should be great. Now also, we've made a little game of this. A bunch of net control operators and different members of Team 100 will be on the air. All you have to do is look for them, work them, and if you're interested in a QSL card special to this event, remember, it's not a contest, y'all. It's time for us to get together, get on the air, put your 100 watts out there, put your 1,500 watts, put your 5 watts out there. Work members of our community the whole weekend. Special QSL card, you can work myself, these net control operators, moderators from the 100 Watts and a Wire Facebook group. And if you work a certain amount, you can earn that QSL card, okay? So a lot of fun happening very soon, June 8th, 9th, and 10th. Please go ahead and get on the air anytime you like that weekend. It can be Friday during the day. I mean, I don't need to have an official kickoff like 7 p.m. Go! No. If you're able, retired, and want to work on Friday, get a head start, start calling CQ. Go ahead for it. And something special we're going to do on June 10th. The evening of June 10th, I'm going to create a net for Sundays. I can't always get to that Thursday net. That Thursday net may not always be there. It may move to Sunday. Sundays where I know I can at least get down in the seat for a while. Thursdays, summertime gets a little tricky for me. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Band conditions have changed on on 40 meters, 80 meters. The guys have been trying to do a little bit of work on 20. Things are changing a little bit. Sun cycle's at the bottom. Hopefully we're coming back up and things will get better. But I think Sunday will allow us to reach a broader audience. More people, in other words, can be there to check in. And I like that. So listen, probably 40 meters on June the 10th. Listen for me, 7 o'clock Central Time. I'll start off our net with taking calls. And if you have 100-watt IDs, you're going to work me. Add that to your list. And at the end of the night, at the end of the net, you can go ahead and knock off activity days, get your totals, submit them, and we'll do the drawing the following week. The drawing. I think I put an L in there by mistake. Okie dokie, lots of questions. I don't know if I'll get to them all here, but talking about ham media, and not, I talked about it's not, I don't look at the guys and girls who are doing it as competition. I don't. People are saying, but do you think they look at you as competition? I do. I think so. It's okay. What am I going to do? I'm cool, though. What I'm doing is I'm staying in my lane. I do what I do, and that's all I can focus on, okay? So I don't look at anybody else as competition. Like I said last week, if they do, that's somebody, that's something they have to answer to. I don't know. There's a lot that's going on, man. There's a lot of personalities, a lot of alpha dogs running around, a lot of people thinking they should be or doing whatever, and they are, and whatever. Keep your ego over there. That's cool. I don't look at you as competition. Can't be bothered. I got a different focus, and the focus is putting together a show that people will and feel okay with at the end of it, and they don't go, well, could have done without that. I wish I had that time back. Time in a person's life, or if you're a cat, lives. That's where I am. More questions will come out as we go. There's a lot that have it's come out since Xenia and Dayton. Lots of different topics people want to know who weren't able to go there. What I think about certain other things. We'll get to it. I've got an interview with Dave Kessler of YouTube. I want to get to that. And speaking of, just a nice man, a really nice man, sat down with me in Xenia. And when we come back, we'll talk about that next.
Whether you say 7.3 or 73, even 73s, we're still 100 watts and a wire.
Bio-NO Power lithium iron phosphate batteries offer some of the best performance batteries for any of your HF or other mobile ham radios. With over 2,000 charge cycles and a battery that is super light, only 1/3 that of AGM or lead-acid batteries, these batteries are a great solution. Visit bionopower.com or contact dealers nationwide, including Ham Radio Outlet, Ham Source, PowerWorks, Comms2Go, Impulse Electronics, Portable Zero, and many others. That's Bio-NO Power, BIOENNOPOWER.com. All right, we're here with Dave, the original OG. He is a YouTube rock star. Are you getting comfortable with all these subscribers?
It's a little surprising. I'm up to 35,000 right now. It's a little frightening, actually.
Well, we were talking about, you gave me a nice compliment on the logo, so I figure I'd tell you this story to finish that up. Was working with a guy named Doug Graham in St. Louis, and all I wanted was a vintage look of the QSL cards from the olden times, from the 40s and the 50s. And so these young guys are so smart and bright. You just kind of let them work. But I showed him examples you could find off of line to just figure it out. So I appreciate you first stopping by and recognizing the logo for the show. It's the first time we've met. You've taught me a lot. I can tell you that I've watched your show quite a bit.
Wow.
And from your unboxings, it's funny because there was a time where you were unboxing things and I was unboxing things too. The mag loop from MFJ and your struggle that you had to struggle with that. And I thought, this is great because he's giving an honest report. You were struggling on 40 meters and you didn't just take it and sell it as the greatest thing. And I thought, this guy's telling the truth. This is important stuff. And if you're going to dish out, I think you even said if you're going to dish out $400, 40 meters should be working, and you worked on the problem. Tell me about your approach to what you do, and as an engineer. I know that you're always an engineer, I'm sure. But tell me about your approach and what you're looking for in the show.
The show is for newcomers. When I was a new ham, I had no mentor. And I had to figure out everything by myself, and needless to say, it was difficult, and I made a lot of mistakes. And I realized that when I had been up at BYU, which is where I got my license at the club station there, it was so handy to have people nearby who could take a problem that had me completely flummoxed and go, the solution is simple, it's this. I didn't have that. So I thought, well, there's an awful lot of hams in that position. So first, if I can teach them through the tech, general, and extra classes, and teach them about ham radio, and whenever something comes to mind as I'm going through a problem or there's a weird question or something like that, it give them a little background on the thing. The more background people have, the more they can put things together and come up with solutions. And then I've been doing Ask Dave videos, which have been very much driven by the audience as to the subjects that are in them. And then people started sending me radios and things like that to test. And I tried to take the point of view, I'm a newcomer, I don't know how this thing works. let me see what I can do. So the whole point of view is I'm not in my head when I'm doing this. I'm in someone else's head who's seeing this for the first time. For example, I'm going to do a show on Dayton, but I'm not going to say, hey, we're at Dayton, we're doing great things. I'm going to say, this is a hamvention. This is what a hamvention does. This is why people gather. These are the services that are offered. These are the things that you can do. It's not just vendors. It's not just flea market. It's not just forums. It's a combination of all of those. So my background in engineering is as a systems engineer, and I've been trained to look at the big picture and look at why is this thing even being done, and then try and help people get to where they get. And I got to tell you, I'm wearing my shirt with my OG logo on it today, and as I go around yesterday, I was approached by quite a few people, and it's frankly a head-sized building experience to talk to people, and it's wonderful to meet the fans.
So you're saying you've seen the big picture of your head expanding just here. As an engineer, your head and your ego are all expanding. I think you can still get through the Maxim Hall, though.
I think I probably can, but, I say head expanding. It's also a remarkably humbling affair to do that, because, very often the people that I have as viewers are learning these things for the first time. And I feel a tremendous responsibility to get it right. Don't spread falsehood. Don't spread opinion. I'll be happy to express opinions, but they're going to be marked as such. But if I tell somebody that they should use such and such a coax, I need to believe that, and it's got to work. And so I can't say, run out and use a 40 meter, that loop on 40 meters, and you'll have great results, because you won't. So I'm just trying to be honest and helpful and help people build their intuition about ham radio so that they can have a good experience and that they can thrive on the air. That's what I want.
I can consider myself one of your students now, but see, and it's been from a distance because we have that screen. And what I do when I watch YouTube and I watch your videos, I go to write what you've done. I may not catch it episode to episode, but I'll go back and say, Dave just did something here, and I can look at it here. I think you tuned that antenna. You did something with how you do that. And I said, I need to know how to do that. How do you tune this mag loop or whatever it was? Mm-hmm. And I go back to visit that. And I think we have a synergy between our shows, being a newer ham, not necessarily a younger ham, but my story goes, I was licensed in 2012, did not have the money, had a young family, could not put up an HF rig, and I needed to do the research, and I couldn't buy things, the wrong purchases. I could not afford to make mistakes in my buying. That's right. And so this show, what I'm doing is mostly you look at a life of a ham, but you see my struggles, you see what I'm going through, what I'm interested in. Yesterday someone tried to teach me about DMR. I don't know anything about DMR, right? So maybe that'll be some content for me in the future. I'm in love with HF. Good. I can't take on a digital mistress at this time. But I think we have some synergies between your teaching and me being a newer ham that I appreciate. So thank you.
Well, we ought to find a way to get some synergy between our shows so that, you can suggest topics to me and maybe we could do interviews about them. Because your show is interview podcast format and mine is more tutorial oriented, and I think there is a great opportunity because we're trying to teach people, and we have to remember that the people who are watching and listening have sufficient humility. They're willing to learn and try the new things that we try. I feel a great sense of responsibility there that I give people something good, and you do too. And between the two of us, we're just both wonderful people, so we'll just make it work.
Now, I feel my brain and my head expanding. My system is now getting... Yeah, I think we could do that, and I think it's interesting. There's so many different podcasts, and I say, I don't see any particular podcast as competition. I think others do. I think others look at, say, 100 Watts in a Wire as a competitive thing. What I'm competing for is your time in your life. I couldn't imagine putting on an hour show of me babbling on and asking you to invest your lifetime. So, in other words, these guys who are putting out podcasts, that's fine. I think there's room enough for everybody, but my competition is just trying to get your attention for a little bit of time and putting together something quality so you invest it well,
Right. And it's fun to talk to people. My suffix is OG, that's my trademark, OG, and I call my viewers Augies, and I think we're developing a sense of community in that sense. I've been trying to learn from YouTube because they're sending me things. That now that I've got 35,000 subscribers, they're thinking maybe I'm up to something. So they're sending me ideas, and one of them is that we should have a name for ourselves. And so I thought of Augies, and it seems to have stuck. And I've had people come up to me and say they're Augies, so that's good.
Two last questions, and I'll let you go shop. One is bridging the gap between even my age and your age to our Elmers. We're losing our Elmers is the point. And what do you think? Shows like ours going to bridge this gap, or are you concerned about the loss of the elders and our Elmers?
Yes and no. I'm not finding that the real old-time hams are doing a lot of Elmering. I think it's people who are a little bit younger who remember the trouble that they had to go through to become hams themselves, who, once they figure it out, seem to have that great desire to share it. I think that's a bit of a younger generation. We're losing the greatest generation. They're passing rapidly. And so ham radio by necessity will get younger. The greatest generation fought World War II with Morse code. And that's wonderful, and I wish more of us knew Morse code. I started to try to teach a series on Saturday, but then I got sick, and everything had to stop for a while. But I'm coming out of all of that. I lost a month and a half to that. I think it's the people who are going to teach are the people who are excited about it, and the people who are excited about it are the younger ones.
I think you answered my last question, but I'll give you some time to elaborate. I was going to ask you how you're feeling.
Better, much better. The initial parts of that medication change, I felt like an inner city junkie trying to go through withdrawal, and that's behind me. Now I'm almost done getting off the old medication, and will be in a few days, and trying the newer medication, and it's making me kind of antsy. Drives my wife nuts at night. He's a wiggler. So it'll take a while to fine-tune that, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling very upbeat on the new medication. I think good things are ahead. Plus, I've hired for the summer an intern who is a third-year film student at BYU, who is now the Ask Dave editor, and he's going to handle putting together Ask Dave questions, because there are just too many for me to answer. And we'll do more shows, so we'll have a separate series on Ask Dave, and then I'll continue with Ham Radio Answers for the series that I'm doing now. I just released a video yesterday that almost has 2,000 views. It is a review of the new DSP SDR Play Duo that just was announced here. So I've got to go find him and tell him his video's out. It's so good to talk with you today. I'm just delighted by the work that you're doing and impressed, and of course, double impressed with your logo. Wish I had a logo that beautiful. And wish you all the best.
I wish you Godspeed on your health. Thanks for what you do. I really appreciate what you do. And people are out there who you may not meet or haven't met yet are really learning from what you're doing. So I look forward to working with you as the road comes.
Well, very good. My YouTube channel is YouTube/user/Dave Casler, DAVECASLER. Take you straight to my channel.
Thanks, Dave. Xenia for me is a place to go to talk to people who you've maybe spoken to on the radio. Maybe you've known them for a long time and they've helped you out, but you've never met them in person. Maybe you have. Or maybe guys like Dave who are out there making content, making videos, showing you how to do things and helping you, providing you an archive full of material. This is how I use Dave's YouTube channel. If I need to learn something that he's already done and made a video for, that's where I go. I mean, minus Game of Thrones, I'm not watching episodic programming and certainly not in the ham radio media realm. I've got a young family to take care of and a wife, a lot of things happening, a career. I'm not retired. But if I'm learning how to do something and I'm curious about it, I'll do a search on YouTube just to figure out if there's anything that exists that can help me along. Maybe, guide me. And that's how I use Dave's YouTube channel. I would check it out because I do indeed check it out. And we hinted that maybe we would do some work together because I'm at one point in my amateur radio career with an audience, and there's a crossover between what he's doing and trying to help and where he is and his audience. Look for it. It could be fun. Okay, brothers and sisters, I'm going to make that my final. Thank you so much for checking out the show again this week. Episode 151. Here we go. We're heading off into summer. Please mark your calendars. June 8th, 9th, and 10th. Go to the website as well and get ready for our activity days. It's a good chance for you to share those 100-watt IDs and just get out and get active. Exercise your equipment and your gear and yourself. But if you can't, you can work anybody you want to in the comfort of your own shack. Lord, I know it's hot. You don't want your toes melting together. Do what you have to do. Stay hydrated. But whatever you do, take care of yourself. Take care of your families, and by all means, please try and stay above the noise.
To join the 100 Watts in a Wire community, visit 100wattsindawire.com.